Hi, Steve. Derek Ray, HBS World Feed commentator. Good to see you again. Being here in Orlando is interesting. I didn't realize until today, that around 200,000 Brazilians live in the Central Florida area. Does that sort of make the challenge even more intriguing and one worth embracing for players who won't have experienced an atmosphere like this, almost a Brazilian atmosphere in the USA?
Great to see you as well, Derek. Yeah, I think it makes the challenge a little more difficult for us. I think the support for Flamengo will be overwhelming, to say the least. And that can have a positive effect on any team. And so for the third time in a row, maybe an away game for us and in our own country. But as an ex-U.S. national team player, I'm kind of used to that. So with the exception of Columbus or somewhere in the north. But yeah, that does make it a little more interesting, but I think it should make for a great atmosphere too. And we'll have our solutions. We're ready to go. But anytime we can fill up stadiums and feel passion and watch exciting football, it's a win for everyone.
Go ahead, right here, right here.
Hello, Coach. I'm Gabriel Orphan from Placar Magazine from Brazil. Coach, tomorrow LAFC will be playing for the first time against a Brazilian club. And I want to know from you, what do you know about Flamengo? If you study the games of Flamengo, what do you know about the players, the coach? I want to know a little bit more from you about this club. Thank you.
Well, absolutely, we study our opponents, and Flamengo is no different than our other opponents. I know, obviously, the complete roster. We know how they play. We know the coach, where he's been as a player and what he's done as a coach. I personally have a friend who used to work for Flamengo, and so I have some inside information as well. I have come across many Brazilians in my career, and our football world in the United States stretches down to South America as well. And so we do our homework at LAFC, and me personally as a coach as well. I wouldn't know where to start with the amount of talent in Flamengo's roster at the moment. We'll have to see what team they field. Obviously, finishing first in the group already. You may not want to risk yellow cards, so there's a lot of things we have to account for tomorrow. But whatever players are on the field, Gelson, Araujo, Jorginho, so many good players. Again, I could name any of them. We'll just have to see what it looks like tomorrow, but it's a fantastic team. They play an exciting brand, aggressive, want to dominate teams. But in any system, systems have weaknesses, and it's our job to exploit those. And we'll do our best.
Any other questions? Oh, yep, right in the back there.
Yeah, Coach, just big picture, how has this event helped the sport of soccer, and do you see it growing from here?
I remember going to the Rose Bowl, the '94 World Cup, and watching the world's best play live. Really planted a seed in my head. And that was my first experience of watching the highest level. And anytime we can do that for the kids in the United States now, and currently with the club football or soccer teams right now in our country, you have the Gold Cup going on. The MLS is taking a pause, but that begins, I think, coming Wednesday. And then the World Cup next year, I think, is what young players need to see, to experience. Hopefully they can get out and meet some of the players, but at least to see it live in the stadium really awakens a different type of motivation than you watch it on TV. And so I think anytime we can get high quality games in this country, it's exactly what we need. The next step would be to have our top players and our younger players being a part of it. at some point. So I think it's a great step. I think it's really important. And no game, no half should be taken for granted. We need to take advantage of it. And that is our objective tomorrow.
Just to follow up, it's obviously expected to be a great atmosphere here tomorrow in Orlando. Just in general, what have the atmospheres been like through the tournament from what you've seen?
Some wonderful atmospheres. I watched today Seattle, again, a pretty full stadium. I don't know the exact number, but it looked pretty full. For all of the fans in Seattle to watch their team play against the European Champions League winner is pretty special. And that doesn't happen very often, and so that was a wonderful atmosphere. There's been some stadiums who haven't been very full, and so I think it's been really kind of hit and miss. But I would always focus on the good atmosphere, and you know, and a few in LA for sure have been really exciting, and others across the country as well. And tomorrow should be good too, and so I think we should all focus on those.
We'll go gentleman in the back with the hat.
Thank you. Hello, Coach. What are your impressions of a young player of Los Angeles who emerged at Flamengo, Igor Jesus?
Yeah. So yeah, a friend of mine used to coach Igor Jesus at Flamengo, and it's the first time that I spoke to somebody about the player. And Igor is a young player who has already been to Europe, in Portugal, and has now come to Los Angeles and played in the MLS. And for a young player to have the composure he has, the experience he has already, the professionalism that he has is not common. And at times you see what, use a cliche, the Brazilian coming out of him the way he plays, which is great. And Igor has been amazing for us. He's a wonderful, wonderful young man, a very good pro, and I think he has a very bright future. And if Flamengo is producing players like Igor all the time and can afford to let them go, then they must have a very good academy.
Hey, Mr. Here, David Sharp from Coluna do Fla. How can you explain the bad results of your team, LAFC, here on this World Cup, Club World Cup? Did you expect this?
No, I never expect to lose. But if you, I mean, the obvious fact, and I don't have a problem being honest, the payroll of Chelsea is 200 million and ours is 12. In our sport, money makes a difference. But when you were playing, you tried not to think about those things. And I was happy with our performance against Chelsea. I think we had a few chances to score, and we didn't. Chances to tie the game, and we didn't. And that's football. You can lose games, you can win games. But I was quite happy with our performance and the way the players played. The first half against Esperance was okay as well. We had everything under control, and the second half was poor. We accept that. And we lost, I think, because of the second half, and I think Esperance was just better on the day, and that's something we have to accept. That's not something that we planned for, and we have one more chance to correct that in tomorrow's match.
Any more questions?